Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you all for coming. Sorry, we're a few minutes late. It happens almost every week. I'm Kat, the nurse flipper. I'm joined by my co-host, Rod, picking and punching. And then below me is Miss Yvon, Thrifty Rich. Yvonne's been on with us a few times before. And then catty corner to me is Kate, Follow That Bug Vintage, and she has not been on. So we're super excited to have Kate on. So I'm going to let the ladies introduce themselves, and then we'll get to your questions. Go ahead and get the questions in early. We finished all of them last week. Also, we have 2 big giveaways tonight, not just one. Another company that I absolutely love has an amazing new product we'll talk about, and they gave us a lot of it to give away to one person. So super excited about that. So here is Miss Yvonne.
Saying hi to the chat. Hi, you guys. Most of you I know, most of you know me. Hi, I see a lot of my friends, my personal friends over there. Sorry, you're all my friends. Yep, I'm excited. I don't really know what else to say. Most of y'all already follow me. Kat's a good friend. Kat's a good friend of mine. Kate's a good friend of mine. And Rod, I just met through Kat, and he seems awfully amazing. So anyways, that's all. You guys know me. Enjoy right, Kate. You're going to love Kate.
Here's Kate.
Hey, I don't have my comments, so I don't know what to say. I'm Kate from Follow That Bug Vintage, and I'm super excited. I've never been on the show, just like Kat said, and I'm super flattered that I was asked. And hopefully I don't say anything too crazy because I'm pretty tired and pretty hungry in true Kate fashion. If you guys know me, you know I'm religiously a mess. So.
Perfect. All right. Let's see what we got. So, Miss Diane. Huh? What?
Before we get started, I had an interesting story for you. So today I actually had an NFL player buy something off from my eBay store. And they wanted there was a local pickup in Tampa, so I had to go meet them in Tampa so that they wouldn't they bought a CRT TV from me so that they're actually launching a clothing line and they're going to do a pop-up event with that. So it got me thinking, for everybody on the panel here, have you guys ever sold anything to like a movie theater house or a celebrity or anything like that over the years? Or is anyone in the chat?
Yeah, go first.
I definitely have, because I've been doing this a long time. Even my first one was back in the late 80s. It is on the show. Okay, he bought a bunch of clown lamps that we were selling at an indoor market. We bought them wholesale. Hang on. It's on the show where that kid is not Chucky. It was in the late 80s. It had John Ritter, where that kid is bad. So they bought a bunch because, in case they have to redo. But the clown clock blows up. Darn it. What was the name of that? That was my first one. And I had Judy Tenuta. I don't know if you guys remember that comedian. And that emo comedian from the 80s and 90s. She was with him. They were in Dallas to do a show, and they went flea marketing. And she bought a whip that I saw her later use that next year in one of her routines. And she signed a postcard that said, "To Yvonne, pseudo version, much love." Because that was one of her taglines, pseudo this, pseudo that. Then I've sold some
Problem Child was the
Child, yes. So if you guys ever watch Problem Child and you see the clown light in his little kid's bedroom blow up, that was my first one. And there's been several since then. So
awesome.
Okay.
Me?
Yep.
Me? The only thing I know for sure is some weird Netflix Australian show that I've never bothered to look up.
Oh, that's cool. What about you?
Yeah, I sold one to Netflix too, a Netflix series. It was, I don't remember the name anymore. It was like about Victorian setting, and I sold a Victorian fan to them, and it was like $150 fan. And it went to the prop set of this Netflix show. And I think that's the only one. Look, a couple of people. So Marcia said she sold to a museum. Patty said she sold to a museum, which that's cool too. Super, super cool.
I want to ask, Rod, did you get an autograph?
So it's funny thing is he sent his wife to pick it up.
Oh.
So I actually didn't get to meet him, but yeah. Long time ago, when eBay was, when we used to receive cash checks and money orders in the mail, It was either my uncle or my uncle's buddy got Kurt Schilling plays. He's like a big time. He was a big time pitcher in the Major League Baseball, and he bought something off. I think it was off my uncle or my uncle's buddy, and he mailed him a check. So he actually sent him an email, say, "Hey, I'm just let you know, I'm not going to cash your check. I'm going to keep your check." It had his autograph on it, and it was like maybe like a $50 item or something like that. But yeah, it's
worth more. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's cool for sure. Miss Diane said, is there a detailed sales report for Whatnot sellers? I need a report that details the fees taken out for each transaction, and I've only seen a report that shows net totals.
For Whatnot, I'm not sure, you guys. I tried Whatnot last year. I'm going to be honest, did not love it. Well, I'm always honest. I'm going to be forthcoming. I did not love it, but that was last year. Now, since then, a couple of my other YouTube friends, such as Kat, and then, of course, Jocelyn Crazy Lamp Lady, blew the door off of our category a couple months ago. And so I am going back, but I don't know everything yet. Okay, so let me pass that over to Kate.
Well, I will say that I know when you go into your seller dashboard, this page is about to change in a couple weeks. So this information is kind of useless. I think it's changing in like a week or two. Yeah. But if you go to each show, it shows you the total sold and the total earned. And then also on each transaction, there's like a little question mark bubble that you can click, and it gives you like a highlighted of what the actual transaction fees were on each thing. But there is two different numbers. But again, it's going to change. I think it was at June. Now they keep changing it.
They keep pushing it back.
Yeah, I stopped paying attention to what the date is. I'm just like, one day I'm going to wake up and it's going to be different, and I'll figure it out.
So it would be, I mean, Kat, just on your seller dashboard, right? And you would click on each transaction, it will give you a breakdown of each one.
Yeah, but like for me, selling 500 to 700 items a week, I am not doing that breakdown. Yeah. So with accounting, it's money in, money out for me. So I don't even keep track of the fees. But Kate's right. At the top of each show, it says how much your sales were and what your net is on that. Now, if you haven't had 1,000 sales, you would have to wait until all of them were received and you got your payout, because that amount will keep going up. But once you hit 1,000 sales, then you get paid as soon as you print the label, which is where I'm at. And then as soon as we print the show, we can see what our total payout was. They could definitely stand to have a better accounting system, but they don't. And Marcia's saying, Marcia just messaged me, Red Cardinal Treasure. She said your ledger too. If you go to your ledger, it'll show you the sold and what your payout was, the seller ledger. So that'll help too. Miss Janine said, I'm a fairly new part-time seller and find shipping to be a big learning curve. How would you package a baseball bat, and what carrier would you ship?
You know what? I can answer this, but I bet you Rod is going to answer this better because he sells a lot of golf clubs. So just let me roll it along.
That's Julian.
I mean, oh, shoot. Dang it. And we just talked about that.
Julian just came in the chat, though. Julian just came in the chat.
We just talked about that. Dang it. Okay, major faux pas. Rod, I'm still going to pass it along, you guys. But I mean, I know what to do, but I'm going to pass it along. I'm going to go pout for a minute.
Is Kate going to take it, or?
I mean, I used to work for an auction company, and I would just kind of like take whatever boxes and just tape them together because I was too sloppy to make a box. My knife work is no bueno, so I think I'll pass as well.
So I get my big boxes from Supply Hut, and when I use these boxes that I could fit like maybe like 3 or 4 golf clubs, a couple baseball bats in there and stuff like that. But you know, the biggest thing is the boxes are already set up for you. It's up like, I think they have boxes up to like 48 inches, and then you just cut it or fold it down if you need to. But the biggest thing is don't ship through the United States Postal Service because it's a big item. You need to go through like UPS or FedEx when you do ship it. So that's going to be the biggest thing for you. Anything long like that, anything that's going to have big measurements, go through UPS or the FedEx now, because since the United States Postal Service changed their measurements on larger packages, I think it was at the end of last year, you have a big fee jump on those. And a lot of new sellers are using just post office only. So you just need to know like little nuances like that that will really help your business.
Yeah, so I have mostly sold, I got a big lot of T-ball bats, and I use the USPS boxes, but now that they have that additional fee, I know Julian bought specific boxes from Uline, so he could tell us what size those are. But if you don't have those, like Kate said, I would like tape together 3 or 4 shoebox, the free USPS. Never mind, that's USPS too. I don't know what I'd do. I'd find a box and shove it in it. I would tape and make a box to fit it. And Sean's saying that UPS is now trying to push the triangle boxes instead of the tubes. So yeah, I mean, if I was buying a lot or selling a lot of baseballs, 4x4x48, yeah, Julian said, and he uses UPS through pirate ship to get the best rate. But if you've sold it and you don't have that box yet, you're going to have to improvise, because I doubt you're going to be able to just go out and get a 4x4x48 box. You might have to just improvise a little bit.
General rule of thumb is before you guys list like posters, baseball bats, golf clubs, things like that, make sure you have the boxes for them, because it's not something you can just go to the store and pick up. You actually have to, usually have to, those you can pick up at like Home Depot, but sometimes you're going to pay a lot of money. Yeah, for posters though, I mean those are expensive though if you buy them individually.
I got those on an online auction, and I paid like $0.25 each, and I'm not even selling anything that goes in those, but I know how much they are, and I was like, I gotta get them. Like I'll eventually use them for something.
Yeah, because if you go to Staples and stuff like that, you're gonna pay like actually it's like $3 a roll or $2 for the smaller ones. So it does add up. So it's better off just buying them in bulk. Or you can Frankenbox something, but
yeah. Roxanne got her off Nova. You'll have to let us know how you like it. Both of us really like that printer. It's a off-brand, but it works, and it's a really, really good price. Was the nice thing.
Yep.
Lawrence is asking, is it true that every time you send an invoice on a non-payment, that the days not paid starts over again?
On eBay, I'm assuming. I don't know.
Yeah, I would assume.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think so. Because eBay will also send automatic reminders too. So whether we like it or not. So not that I'm aware of, but maybe someone else.
I don't know. I avoid eBay, so I have no idea.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't start over. If you can set up your account to do automatic non-pay. I think it was 4 days now. You can set up your thing and automatically you put someone non-payer if they don't pay within 4 days. But I can't tell you, I have people that have ordered like in bulk, like 4, 5, 6 items for me, and I've sent them like an invoice every single day. It doesn't start over.
A reminder, not a new invoice, a reminder, Lawrence. I think.
Yeah, but I don't think the invoice changes it.
Yeah,
I don't think
it doesn't change. So you send
yes.
When you do a payment reminder, it just sends the payment invoice back to the buyer again. So it's like you can send.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
And Kate had a good point that I want you guys to know. So Kate does a lot of Etsy. So if you guys have any Etsy questions you want to toss at Kate, she does Etsy as well as whatnot. Just to give you guys a little, in case you have some of those questions rolling around in your mind. Vineyard Edge, who is like the biggest cat resin collector ever. And I didn't plan on showing these till the end, but look, I made a new fairy lamp. Hold on. Let me turn the light on. Hold on, I gotta turn the light on. Look.
That's awesome.
So I made I think I'm going to have 10 new ones for Saturday. So normally we do resin on Fridays, but it's my husband's birthday. So we're taking Friday off. Oh, and look, this is the other new mold. This one's cute. I brought him out to show him. It's a little rabbit ring holder, and I put forget-me-nots in it.
I was going to say, show them the bunny that you had on Whatnot.
Super cute.
Super
cute.
You guys,
super cute.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just realized my screen is frozen because I pulled myself up on the other one. So I'm not actually sulking. I'm going to switch devices.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
So Vineyard Edge, my biggest collector of resin, is now a member. Kate will be back. So I am going to go ahead and give Vineyard Edge her dolphin. Thank you for joining. Super excited. And we will have the eBay member reviews this coming Thursday for all members. Is it this Thursday? No, a week from Thursday. Sorry, guys, it's the 15th, a week from Thursday. So I'll post next Tuesday for you to enter for those. So here is your dolphin.
Welcome to the flipping family.
Thank you. Thank you. Super excited. LK Vintage is asking, how do I ship large framed pieces of artwork? Large boxes are so expensive. Do you buy big boxes or make them?
Well, now I think Rod or Kat already mentioned this. Like, I get a lot of shipments, and so does my husband. I keep everything, even though it might be an odd, crazy box that I've got to stash somewhere in the garage for a year, because sooner or later. But if not, I would probably Frankenbox it, and it's going to need a lot of padding. And depending on the value, I might even double box it. In that scenario, though, I let in my listing, they're going to know ahead of time, shipping's going to be a little more. I'm going to double box this. Now, on a side note, me personally, that's why I went and got a booth, 2 booths now, because I wanted to sell bigger pieces of, like, small pieces of furniture and bigger pieces of art without the worry. So I usually run them through my booth, but that's just a side note.
I'm back.
Yes, you are.
You're back. Yes, and you're much clearer.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm at a hotel, and it's been one thing after the next. Shipping large pieces of art. I actually used to work for an art museum, and we used to ship with like Artex, like real, like crazy math, Van Gogh, Monet, and that is why I do not ship art ever, because I'm scarred for life with how much math and intricacy that went into it, and it just makes me so nervous. I'm so OCD about it, and I'm super tough on my shipping skills. So if I can't do something perfectly shipping, I don't do it.
So it depends on how big the artwork is. I will ship up to a certain size. I do get some old vintage framed sports memorabilia too, which is it's going to be similar size as artwork. But here's actually a shipping hack for a lot of people: is go to the dollar store and buy the big pool noodles, and you slice the pool noodles in half, and you can actually fit those over the edge of your picture frames, over the edge of a lot of things. So that helps protect them, especially if it's like a high-end item. That's one thing you do for actually like graded comic books and graded items as well. But I used to go to like Sears, or go to like the I had a buddy who worked at Sears and stuff like that, and you can get large boxes from like the refrigerators and stuff like that, and then Frankenstein boxes, lots of bubble wrap. But also too, depending on how expensive the piece is, there are places that will ship it for you. So I know there are some art galleries that will go to, and they will pay you a fee to ship it. But that's just something you need to look into in your area.
Yeah, so I'm going to put a couple comments up real quick. Judy said she uses a U-Haul picture boxes. They're only $5.99. I don't remember the size on those. Some of them aren't big enough, and like my U-Haul does not carry them. And then also Caroline said, do some people use flat screen TV boxes? That is exactly what I use. I buy them on Amazon, and they are expensive. They're between $6 and $10 a box. But I am not selling any big art that's not worth several $100s, so I'm okay spending $10 on a box. I also purchased the corners, the cardboard corners that go on all 4 corners. I do the pool noodles as well. I put cardboard, if it's a glass framed art, I put cardboard over the glass, and then I put bubble wrap, and then I wrap the whole thing like a crazy person. I was telling my members in the members only live shipping Monday, I actually got my first ever complaint that I used too much bubble wrap. Too much bubble wrap. They complained, and it was a breakable. They're like, 1 layer would have done, and I'm have you seen how USPS handles the boxes? So I didn't say that. I just said, well, I'm glad it arrived safely. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, so Ricochet Vintage Find said Home Depot has a box with corners for $7. So there's quite a few options. I over bubble wrap everything. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, I'm not going to do the giveaway now. But speaking of bubble wrap, American Bubble Boy, Joel, the founder of American Bubble Boy, is a very, very good friend of mine. And he came out with tape today. So this is called My Go-To Tape. And you get like... It's really good. It's thick. It's nice. This is going to be what I'm using from now on. You can get a whole case of them, 24 for $56. So like a little over $2 a roll. And it's really, really nice tape. And Joel gave us a case of tape to give away tonight. So somebody's going to win 24 rolls of tape tonight. And giving away the virtual ticket to Camp Listing Party tonight too. So there's going to be good giveaways. We'll do them probably both at 9. We'll do the giveaways at 9. I like to do it right in the middle. But yes, Joel just came out with that tape and it is amazing, amazing tape. So we always go back and forth on tape and we get asked what tape to use. Well, now I know what I'll be using. I got a special preview. Joel sent me some beforehand. It just was released today. But I got mine a couple days ago. So I'm super, super excited. Amy, Edge City Trader, sent a $9.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. Here is your dolphin. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, Marcia just put it in. So Joel gave me a coupon code, the Nurse Flipper. You'll get 5% off of all your tape orders, not just the first one. And it's off that already low price. So you'll save an extra 5% if you use code the Nurse Flipper.
Thank you.
So, and it's not just your first order, it's all of them, which is amazing. Unicorn Museum. Is there a way to mark down items from the app? I just want to put one item on sale, not take an online graduate course.
I'm assuming eBay.
Yeah.
And you guys, I usually carry 300 to 350 items in eBay. But since I started doing more live sales on YouTube and got 2 booths, I'm down to less than 100 items. I haven't even read the last update. I just like, when I get back into it, I'll catch up with whatever's current. So let me pass this along.
No eBay for me, but I will say I only use American Bubble Boy. It's the best bubble wrap ever.
That is amazing. I agree.
So you can't do any markdowns from the app that I know of. But I mean, if you're already trying to mark down one item, why don't you just go in there and just manually edit the price of that one item and just put it at a discounted price? And then later on, when you want to change it back, and you can always change it back if it doesn't sell.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If it's just one item on your phone, just click it and revise the price. That's what I would do. I wouldn't, you don't need to do a sale just for one item. You can just revise the item, change the price, and that is that. And yes, so Joel, American Bubble Boy has faster shipping than Amazon. Joel actually, I think he just opened another. He has like 6 or 7 locations nationwide. So most of it, a lot of times, will come next day. It's kind of crazy. Him and I were talking about the logistics. It's like super complicated. I don't know how they do that, but they do it. Mile High Mom, what is the last item you were sure would be a good flip but had a disappointing return?
Oh gosh. Can we do Kate and then flip back to me so I can think?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Kate.
That's okay. I was thinking about what it was because I've been full of disappointment recently. I would say my last one was actually a rushed in rubber face stuffed rabbit. That's gonna, I think my YouTube video for that drops tomorrow, but I paid $100 for it and I was super excited because the most expensive thing I ever sold was a Russian rabbit and it was a different version. And it just, I kept getting the dumbest questions and I kept getting the lowest offers and I was so blown. I mean, I still made money off of it, but it was, I was so excited to find it, and I was so let down when it sold for what was it, $250? I think it was $250. So I mean, my last one sold for over $800. So
Yeah.
I was pretty blown.
So probably one of my best pickups ever was I bought out someone's collection of like retired Legos, and I got all the like the original Star Wars, and I sold those for like thousands of dollars on eBay. So ever since then, I've been looking out for Star Wars, and probably the last like 4 or 5 months ago, I went to a yard sale, and they had all the Star Wars Legos out of the box, but they were all put together like on a table, and I got there. Somebody else was there, so I let them go first. And I was sitting there, and the guy walked away. And he said he bought what he had to buy. So I was trying to make a deal, negotiate. And the guy came back and wanted to buy more, but I was already negotiating. So I got FOMO, and I started freaking out that I wasn't going to be able to get everything there. And I knew I sold these before, so I ended up paying up for them, only to realize that they were later on that they were actually the re-release, and they weren't the original ones that I bought. So with the money I paid up for them, I'm probably going to break even on them. But yeah, that sucked, especially because loose Legos are a pain to, if you ever buy those at yard sale and they're all put together, I mean, keep them together as much as possible because it does help them when you do list them. But trying to manage those all in my truck, driving around, and then just a pain. It was the worst pretty much. So yeah, I'm not gonna make any money on them.
Yeah, I don't have anything I can think of that sold. I'm sure there's a lot. But I have a gorgeous glass sculpture. I found one on Worth Point that sold for $3,000, and I paid like $400 for it. They're gorgeous herons. And then somebody messaged me on eBay, and sometimes I appreciate them correcting. They said, "Hey, this is available on this website for $400," and I'm like, "Oh." And I went and looked, and sure enough, it is still available. So it's still sitting here, and I have hundreds of dollars into it. Yes, Mary, that is another thing. My Harley parts.
Yes.
And it was almost like Rod. I did a bulk buy at the end of a garage sale. It was an older couple, and they were giving me like 30% off their yard sale prices, but their yard sale prices really were more like eBay prices. And so I made like 10% each on the parts. It was a horrible, horrible return. And so what I should have done is researched every single one of them and told them, we already got that one, Rod.
Oh, my bad.
I should have looked them up. So some of the clothing, like the leather jackets, I did talk her down on the price because I did look them up, but I didn't on the parts. So a lot of them I just broke even. So that whole buy was and that was me kind of feeling bad, like, because they really needed to sell the stuff, but I shouldn't have overpaid, and I really, really overpaid on them. The Artful Journey is, Yvonne's not in Dallas. She's in Colorado.
I'm from Dallas, but I've been here in Colorado for like 23, 24 years now.
Well, do you know anywhere near Dallas to source?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. Oh man, I hate to say this out loud. Some people are probably going to be upset. Okay, it's a little bit of a story. Okay, so I'm from Dallas. Like you guys know, I've been reselling since I was like 24 years old. And was started in the 80s. There's no cell phones. There's not even internet for the general public. But we had indoor flea market stores, and I had a retail store. So in Dallas, that's one of the places in the U.S. that has a mart, a fashion or a merchandise mart. So you want to check the dates to see if anything matches up with the time you're there, because you can register, or they'll have one day during that sale where you can come in, and a lot of people will stay that one extra day and you can buy their samples. So you want to check, sometimes they have special days where the general public gets to come in. And then also, now listen, I haven't been back for 20 some years, but I bet you it's blown up since then. But in the 80s and 90s, we got a lot of our sources. There was about 12 or 14 importers on Harry Hines Boulevard. Now it's a sketchy area, at least when I was there, because places like that go where the rent is cheap, just like thrift stores used to be in the shady part of town back in the day. But anyways, and so that would be like the Korean importers and wholesalers, the ones from Pakistan, etc., China. And so I bet you anything that street has blown up, because it was already becoming like the it place to go. Even the fancy women would go there after they flew in to go to their buying shows at the Dallas Mart. And then the Mary Kay crowd would always hit a couple of special ones there. So look up Harry Hines and see if it's still there. And then also, you know, Dallas has a great, in between Dallas and Fort Worth, there's a great outdoor flea market. I think it's called, I can't remember. And then I'm sure there's a ton of thrift stores. Oh my gosh. Harry Hines Boulevard. Try that first.
Kate, do you have a tip? You look so excited.
I love Waco. I do. I'm like, actually, I think I'm headed that way in a week or two now. I went there. I did Dallas to Waco and back, like this crazy diamond route through a bunch of small towns. And I went to so many cool antique malls and so many cool towns that had like random flea markets and stuff. But I would have to look at my YouTube to know where I was, because it was like last July. So I don't even remember.
Do you have Dallas and Waco in the title where they could find it?
It was pretty obvious. I know there was like pictures. I went to Clown Burger because I'm like a kitsch destination traveler. So I was like, I have to go to Clown Burger.
You went to Fort Worth too. It was something like surprise, I'm leaving.
Texas. Yeah, no, it was late July, early August in my video stream last year. I'll have to find it. But there was a few. In fact, there's one that it was actually on my to-do list to go through my YouTube and find out where it was, because I was so upset I didn't have a car. I spent like hundreds of dollars at UPS shipping stuff back to me from Texas. But this time I have a car. Hopefully my car makes it. Yeah, I'm super excited to go back to that area. So many good little antique malls that just random cheap. I mean, cheaper than the thrift store prices, honestly. Like I'm religiously bashing the thrift store. I'm sorry, but it was super cheap and just treasures everywhere. Stuff I'd never seen before. It was awesome.
That's cool. Rod, do you know anywhere? I don't either.
Yeah.
I do not.
You need a week. You'll need a week in Dallas to even hit the highlights.
So fun.
Yeah. It's another really, like, it's a really big city though, right? Size wise.
Really spread out.
Yeah, that's how Jacksonville is. I grew up in Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's the largest city area-wise, like how many acres it is. It's so, like, it takes you over an hour from one side of the city to the other, even without traffic. It's crazy. Miss Lynn said, what happens if a sold whatnot item arrives to the buyer broken?
I've only sold 61 items on there so far, and I haven't had an issue. So let me pass that. Kate sold a lot. Kat sold a lot. I don't know about
I did have something break on me. It was super upsetting. And all I did, the buyer messaged me immediately, and they were like, oh my gosh, this is broken. I felt so bad because I'm usually like pretty serious packer. And I just clicked the link to like whatnot help, and I sent it to them, and they said that they got refunded within 24 hours, and they didn't even take anything from me because I guess they saw my stand. You know, I'm sure if you're like breaking stuff left and right, but I think that they have some type of grace for buyers and sellers, which is nice. So yeah, I just gave them a help link, and they emailed them the order number, and they got refunded immediately, and nothing ever happened to me from it. So
I'm still convinced that Whatnot's just winging it as they go with with a lot of their stuff. They're just winging it and like, oh wait, this is costing us too much money. All right, now we need to change the policy. But I think they're figuring out a way to go, and be prepared. There's going to be a lot of changes over Whatnot over the next year or two, is just because how the platform's evolving and with customer service and everything else. So stay tuned, because it's going to be a tricky ride here for a little bit, but still a great platform.
Yeah, so I would say contact the seller. In some situations with my people also that I know by regular, I'll say you can either message or email seller support at whatnot.com, or I can throw you an extra piece or two in the next order. And some of them have chose that because I know they're buying from me regular. So like Kate was saying, I bet Whatnot keeps metrics on it. So I've had some pieces that like the stones came out or the clasp didn't work, things like that with the jewelry. And I basically ask them or tell them, I can either give you another piece or you can email support@whatnot.com. And we've had a couple of like jewelry mix-ups, the same thing. I do the same thing. I kind of let the buyer decide if they want a refund or if they want me to toss something in. I will say some of them, if they're not regular buyers and I kind of feel like it's petty, I hate to say that, but you see the stuff live, the stuff is shown live. You see the size, you see what it looks like. People that I feel like that, I tell them to email support@whatnot.com. I'm not offering to give them anything because Whatnot, all sales are final. There's no returns. So the only way they could get it is get a refund from Whatnot. But I bet Kate is right. And I bet Whatnot is keeping they're keeping tabs. So if there's a buyer that's repeatedly abusing that, I bet they're going to call them out or block them from buying on Whatnot anymore. So the system right now, I'm happy with how it works, and the only thing I hate is we can't see our metrics. Like Whatnot, if our buyers don't tell us, we have no way of knowing if they got refunds. So I would like to know, because I bet some people have done it and I probably wouldn't want to sell to them again. You know what I mean? We have no clue as sellers. Whatnot does not inform us when somebody gets a refund. So I wish there was a way to know, like on eBay, they file for a return. We don't get that information. I refund your junk. Miss Susan sent a $10 super chat. I'm going to give you the pillow fight. I'm feeling like the pillow fight. Here you go.
They're so cute. Both of them so cute.
They are both a mess. They fight like they're both 3 years old is what they do. I saw Roy said, yeah, if something arrives broken, Whatnot will refund it. I would at least do the courtesy of letting your seller know, because if it is a packing issue or something that needs to be changed, I as a seller would want to know. Like my daughter packs all mine, and our jewelry, the resin bracelet holders I make, she was putting them in too small of a box. 2 people messaged me. They poked through the box. The bracelet stands were fine, but the resin was so strong, it came with the tip of the pyramid sticking out of the box. So I told Brooke she needed to bump up before my resin stabs somebody in the mail. So we appreciate it when you tell us that, because sometimes, with me, it's my daughter packing and I might not know. And that way I can tell her and let her know, with those, hey, you need to use a bigger box. So definitely let the seller know. That would be a first step. Sean wants to know if shipping on Whatnot costs more than what the customer pays.
First of all, hi, Sean. Shipping on Whatnot costs more than what the customer pays. Okay, wait a minute. I'm going to say off the bat, no, but something's changing with shipping, and I don't think we're going to know until the 7th, until tomorrow. So I'm not sure. Because Whatnot is finally realizing how some bad apples in the community, and how it is, are abusing the system. So let me pass that on, but generally, no.
So I've heard so many different stories. It's basically been just a giant game of telephone on my group chats for the past month and a half. And I don't know if anybody else received this email from Whatnot. I think it was either last night or the night before. It did actually have the shipping updates, and I didn't hear anything about uncombining items and the seller having to pay for that. So I do believe that they are, just like Yvon said, eating a lot of the shipping costs, because people, one, are misusing it. I won't go as far as saying abusing, but definitely misusing it, either trying to get one or just generally confused. But the way that they do it, with paying half price, now they have more of a lever where I think it's you won't get charged overcharged if it's within a pound of what you say. So I was hearing things that like the seller was gonna have to pay like all these charges, this and that. But I think that the shipping for them is exactly what it says. I just think that they're gonna have to do something. They're actually lowering the shipping prices, which makes no sense to me. But yeah, I there's no additional thing that has to be charged through the seller for shipping.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing, man. There's a lot of people that were just putting there were some bad sellers out there that were just putting like 2-3 ounces for every single package, even though whatever it was, it could be a pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds. So that way their buyers would have a low shipping cost to help their auctions out. And, whatnot to crack down on a lot of that. So it's kind of reason why they're rolling out what they're rolling out now.
Yeah. So I heard 2 different things. The one is the overages, like if you're misusing it and doing like Rod said, putting 2 or 3 ounces for 2 to 3 pounds, which what Kate said makes sense. If it's over a pound difference, they'll charge you. And I think that's fair because I saw a lot of things I knew were like 2 and 3 pounds and they had $5 shipping on them. And I'm like, that seller lied on that listing, and then you're making Whatnot lose money. And I get what that's why eBay now charges us fees on shipping, is because people were doing 1 penny auctions and $50 shipping, trying to get away from the fees. So when people try and skirt the system, it ends up hurting everybody collectively. And then I also heard, though, they're going to change. So like with jewelry, which is the main thing that I do, if you right now, if you buy a 1 ounce item, it is, it's like $4.75 or $5. And then you pay a quarter for each additional. But what they're going to do is it's the same cost for 1 ounce to 4 ounce. So that means the second, third, and fourth pieces of jewelry you bought would be $0. So you wouldn't even have to pay the quarter. So I think they're rolling it out first in comic books and sports cards, of course. But I'm excited when they roll it out to jewelry, because for me, 10 pieces of jewelry really is under 10 ounces 99% of the time. So that should start saving some of my buyers that buy multiples. Not a ton, but a quarter adds up. So I'm excited about that. He is not sitting beside me tonight. He was sitting beside me for the show last week. Mark OG&Z sent his $5 late fee. And he said, we can go on now. I'm going to give Mark a super chat. Let's find you something. Dun, da, da, da. Here you go. Thank you, Mark. Dun, 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 dun. And Janelle said also, Whatnot does not care about the size of the box. That's the thing. So that's the thing with Mercari too, guys. Mercari does not mandate that you put in the size. Yeah, I don't know what the free shipping on Whatnot is. I saw some people doing it. I have no urge to offer free shipping. As low as I start my items, that's not going to happen. And I will tell you, and we actually shipped it out today. I had an offer, it might have been this morning, and they sent me an offer of $13 on an $18 item. And they said, I'm sending this offer to reflect a discount that equals free shipping. And I countered them at $16. And I said, well, unfortunately, shipping isn't free and neither is the poly bag. And they accepted it, bought it, and paid. But I think Amazon has made so many people have this mentality that shipping is free, like nobody pays for it, that it's hurt, And so I was a little snippy in the response, but I was like, shipping is not a free thing, and they accepted my offer and paid. So I got the sale, but I probably could have been, I don't think I was untactful. I was just very, very factual about it. Miss Patty wants to know, has anybody heard anything, and we'll ask in the chat too, because I am not, about Whatnot and List Perfectly cross-posting over to that? I haven't heard anything. Rod, have you?
No, but I know they have internal discussions about it. That's what I've been told. But they have, nothing to the point where it's going to be rolling out right now.
Okay.
But I mean, you could list to your Poshmark and then just because you can transfer 500 listings from Poshmark over.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I did. Unfortunately, I've got way more than 500, but I do have 500 of my listings on Whatnot because I cross-posted them from Posh. Mile High Mom said, I think most of us know about Jocelyn and the $10,000 vase. What's an item you've left behind and later regretted?
I don't think anything big like that. Bless her heart. She has fun with herself with it. So, but sometimes I leave little cutesy things that I'm just not certain of because I'm just now kind of learning a little bit more about deeper into kitsch. You know, when I made friends with Kate. And so I'm learning more and trying to expand. So a lot of times on my videos is when I end up, like when I'm editing, and then when I read the comments and y'all spank me a little bit for not picking something up, you know, but nothing real huge.
I actually don't think I have a single regret. It adds to the thrill of the hunt for me when people watch my videos or something like that, or I see something at an antique mall later that I was questioning and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what that is. It kind of makes it more exciting for me. And I file it all away. That's all I do. I just use it for more information. And now I know what to look for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so just like you, one of my biggest thing is I hate when I go back and edit my videos because a big part of my business, I do hit up a lot of community. I'm in Florida, so I get a lot of community yard sales I go to. And when you go to a community yard sale, I'm not trying to maximize myself at each yard sale. No, if I go to the outskirts of like Tampa area, I can just take my time at yard sales. But when you go to a community yard sale, you need to be in and out because you want to get to the next sale and the next sale and so on. And so I go pretty fast through their sales, and I always see stuff on the camera. Like every time I edit, I'm like, oh, I left that behind. Or I get a lot of viewers that are like, hey, you left that behind. But recently, I was actually down Daytona picking with the NC picker, or actually ADH Dave now, and we both picked up this like big. It was a Danbury Mint statue, and I think she wanted like $80 or $100 for it, and we both left it behind. And then later on, when I was doing comps for the video, it was the most expensive one there. We bought the other two and left that one behind, and it sold for like $400. So missed out a couple $100, but like you said, it's part of the game, and that's how you learn. I don't learn from my wins. I learn more from my mistakes along the way.
Oh my god!
Yeah, yeah, I'm with Yvon. I don't think there's many. There might be some little stuff, but nothing overly significant. And a lot of mine is like when I do my thrifting videos from people telling me to, because we don't know everything. We learn as we go, and that we learn as much from you guys as you learn from us. And yeah, so I can't think of anything that was that big that I've kind of regretted. So it's not like a big one thing, and it was an online, not a thrift thing. But when I bought my postcards, there was a box of Halloween ones, and I wasn't aware of how valuable vintage Halloween postcards are. And the lot went up to $1,000, but honestly, I probably should have went up to like $1,200 on it. And I probably would have still made over $1,000. So that is recent. And I was like kicking myself because, it's super hard to find a lot of really good vintage Halloween postcards. And yeah. And the ones that I got that were Christmas, New Year's, Easter were really good. So I can imagine the Halloween ones were probably pretty on point too. So that hurt a little bit. Miss Wanda said, I have 2 large buildings full of stuff. Should I keep out anything worth $15 or more to sell online and yard sale the rest? Or what would you do if you were sorting through stuff? So if you had 2 large buildings, what would you do? Like, how would you sort through it and decide what to do what with?
Hang on, I was addressing a problem child in the chat. Okay, 2 large buildings for the stuff I keep out. I promised I wasn't going to do this, but here we go. And we're $15 or more to sell online. What would you do when sorting through stuff? Guidelines used. Well, cherry pick it. Yeah, cherry pick it first. And either have a yard sale like you're thinking of, or do box lots, or sell all when you're done looking at it. Try to find someone else that's a reseller. So many people are resellers now everywhere. In the last 5-6 years, it has blown up. Somebody might come and get it all, take what you want and do it as a clean out, maybe be done with it. So you have time to work on the cherry picking items that you got. Is this off the top of my head?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I like to make things as difficult as possible when it comes to stuff like I mean, I would probably be the crazy person who listed pretty much everything that wasn't literal yard sale trash or garbage online and let it sit for like at least 2 weeks before I had a yard sale and just put everything out and see what went. But I would make way too much work for myself, so I'm not the one to ask.
So it really comes down to the context behind it, because if you're paying rent on these places, it's going to be totally different if you just have 2 barns to go through and to pick through that. Because if you're paying, so let's just say if you're paying rent and stuff like this, I'd put all the big stuff, take pictures, put it on OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace locally to try to move that. Also put that stuff aside for like a yard sale there to try to do that. Anytime I have a big lot, I cherry pick, I use the 80-20 rule. So I'm not sure if you bought this or not, but you want to make 80% of your money back from 20% of your items. So go through, pick out the big items, most expensive items, and get those listed first and foremost. Anything of value, pick them. Now, if you do have time to pick through it, then yeah, I would take your time, pick out the good stuff, make sure the stuff is secure in there. It's not in your area that's going to get damaged and stuff like that. But if it was me, I would maximize my profits on there and just go through and just pick out the fast selling stuff. But honestly, if you're trying to move space, have a yard sale. Just move some stuff, free up space, and then all the good stuff the stuff that you don't want to ship, you can put out for yard sales or put on Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp. But all the other stuff, list.
Yeah, so the me 2 months ago would have said exactly what Kate said and said I would have listed like everything. However, I've now learned I do not have unlimited time. And well, I'm still pretty much listing the stuff I have though. But if it was 2 buildings full, I would probably do $20 or more if it were me and put the rest out for a yard sale. If you want that space back. If you don't care about the space, just list it as you get to it. That's what I'm doing with my death pile. I'm listing all of the items, but I'm being pickier when I'm buying. And I'm not buying stuff really under that $20 mark just because I can't process that many and I want to kind of maximize money for time. But I probably will still have those little things that like handkerchiefs that I love, vintage handkerchiefs that I will still buy them for $1 and sell them for 10 to 12. And, so there's going to be exceptions. I would definitely though, like some of it might even not be yard saleable. So I would probably make a yard sale pile for stuff under $15-$20. If you want to do I'm not a yard sale fan. Me and Rod have been talking about that. We have been contemplating doing one, but I would probably have a yard sale, a giveaway, because it might still be okay for somebody to use, a trash, and then a list online. But I would be listing as I went through it if you're not in a rush to get, it all out of there.
There's a good point right there. You got to be brutal with yourselves.
Sitting in the bottom corner.
We have no passion for it. That's 100%.
Yeah, and I give away a lot of that stuff that I'm like, I don't like this enough to list it, and if you have so much stuff, sometimes you have to make those decisions. But I'm just like Kate, where I'm like, I can make $5 on that. And it's hard. And it's like a hard adjustment, like mentally and I haven't been buying much, so I haven't tested myself on this theory. I haven't tested myself on it yet, but we'll see. Oh, Jessica, Resell to Ride sent a $5 super chat and said, this weekend I bought 11 vintage shag toilet lid covers for 50 cents each. Sold 2 at the flea market. What's something weird you have bought and sold?
Okay, first of all, Jessica, yes, I did not know those were still even around. And I'm not going to comment how I feel about those. But anyways, something weird that I have bought and sold. There's just too much because I kind of lean more toward the unique. I'm just part-time and part-time YouTube. So I try to lean toward the unique, what's fun for me and what, so I don't have to fight competition. I can tell you something. Okay, I didn't really buy it, but I want it. But if you guys have to give me a minute, because I got to tell the whole story, okay? It's a personal story. Okay, you guys. I sold a boob job. Now listen, I sold a boob job on Craigslist. Okay, let me tell the story. I don't want this to get out of hand and gossipy. Okay, this was about 15 years ago. I had a yucky boyfriend that I left because he was a porn addict, and it was messing with my mind. This is personal, sorry. It was messing with my mind, and I thought about getting a boob job, duh. And so I entered this thing that was online, and I got a coupon for a $6,000 saline boob job, but it was with a local person. So, but what I decided to do instead was to leave his butt. Okay. So instead I'm like, oh, heck no, I don't need fake boobs. So I left him instead. And I put that on Craigslist. And it was hard because you're not allowed to sell body parts. So I'd have to refresh it constantly. Now, this is a true story, you guys. I've only told this once before. Someone bought it. Okay. So I said, it's a $6,000 coupon. You can have it for $3,000. And I helped her it was a preacher that bought it for his wife. True story. And so, no, it's crazy.
So many layers to this story.
It gets better and better.
And so I met with them. I showed them online. I promised never to reveal names, of course. It's a delicate situation, even regardless of the other thing. Side note, the husband wanted it for his wife. I don't even know. I can't, especially with the reason of why I was selling it. It's because I'm like, oh, heck no, I ain't getting a boob job for no man. But anyways, so I showed them on the computer. It's legit. She trusted me, wrote me a check for $3,000. I cashed it. They didn't know who I was yet. So we turned in her ID instead of mine. She got it. She got the surgery. She's rocking them. $3,000 for something I won. And I'm so proud of myself for doing that instead of using that coupon just because of that one, it messes with your mind. But anyways, that's it.
I don't think any of us can top that, so we should just probably stop right there.
Yeah, that's good.
I have a pretty good one. I don't know.
Okay.
It might be crazy.
And listen, I gotta say one thing. I'm not knocking if you want a boob job. I don't care. What I'm saying is my mindset. My mindset is I was frustrated at this porn addict boyfriend making me feel insecure. This was 15 years ago. Okay. I snapped out of it. I'm like, that's not the reason to get a boob job because you're jealous of your boyfriend is a porn addict. No, go get you an apartment. And that's what I did. So there. Let's move along now.
That's awesome. That was a great story.
She's happy with her.
Yeah, no. I used to be pretty deep into the oddities crowd. So I have been approached with items that I don't even feel comfortable touching that are very gray areas for selling online. But I think the best, weirdest thing, I've sold so much weird stuff. I have like cat hearts in jars. Okay. Like there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of layers. But the best thing I ever bought and sold was I bought a 2-headed cow from 1956. The entire thing, like not one of those repop ones where someone took 2 dead cows and sewed them together, along with the original photographs from birth with the cow and the dairy farm information. I bought it at an auction. It was just me and one phone bidder in the middle of nowhere, South Central Pennsylvania. Everyone there thought I was an insane person because I was in person and the phone bidder went pretty high. And I sold it to someone really freaking special in New York City. And it was by far the coolest story. And now if I go to auctions in South Central Pennsylvania, a lot of people are like, it's the cowgirl. But yeah, a real 2-headed calf.
That's a good story too. It was awesome.
I've definitely been worried about getting robbed since that auction. I'm like, it's not really like that, you guys, I promise. But it was the coolest, weirdest thing I've probably ever bought and sold.
Wow.
Top these stories, Rod. Go ahead.
No, I don't think I get anything to top that. I haven't sold anything that weird. I've said this before though, because I did professional wrestling for a while, and there would be people that would sell their used underwear, their used tights to fans that would just be obsessed with it. Sell used shoes all the time.
Yes.
Not like used shoes like you sell on eBay. Like they want the ring worn, like used shoes because they have a foot fetish and like stuff like that. But so yeah, I have a lot of friends that have sold, and we're talking like thousands of dollars for their outfits and their stuff. They were on TV with WWE or NXT, and people would reach out to them and they'll get $2,500, $3,000 for used bottoms or used shoes for that one show. So it's not a fan buying.
I love it.
I don't think I've sold anything weird. I probably have, but nothing I can remember. And yeah, Mark said we get this question almost every show, and there's never been answers this good. They definitely topped us for sure. Yes, I think Ripley's would be interested in the two-headed cow. I agree.
It went to someone Ripley's worthy. I'll say that.
That is cool. Awesome.
You know who it went to? You just can't reveal. You know who it went to, though?
I do know who it went to.
Okay, but you can't. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Kat. I know. Sorry, Kat.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I just don't want to forget to give her. I don't want to forget to give Jessica her super chat.
eBay back then. That was the Wild West back then. You could sell anything on eBay back then.
Yes.
I know. I tried to sell a tiger on eBay. It didn't work out very well.
All right. Beach super chat. I haven't done the beach one yet. Here you go, Jessica. He's so bossy. Every time I watch that, he's so bossy. All right. We are going to do the tape giveaway. So look, I'm going to show you. Oh, my chair's so squeaky. I need to WD-40 it. Look, you get a whole case. My go-to tape. My go-to tape. And you're going to put hashtag tape. Hashtag tape. You're going to get a case of 24 rolls. And it's normally $56 or $59. And if you use the code The Nurse Flipper, you'll get 5% off. So put hashtag tape in. Let me present. Let's share this screen so we can see how many entries we've got. We'll give you guys a couple of minutes. There we go. We will.
Ooh, look at that fly.
What fly?
We all want that tape.
Yes. So if you guys don't know, it's my go-to tape. It was just released today. It is a new product available by American Bubble Boy. Joel is an amazing guy. Their stuff is high quality. The only brand of bubble wrap that we use. And I have been buying tape, and I've been buying it in 12 rolls, and it was more than this. So his price is on point. The tape, I took one out. It's like super, super nice, thick tape. He just got it. He's been so excited about this, and we couldn't break it. So really, really nice tape. Yeah. So we'll let you guys, I'll give you like another minute or so to put hashtag tape in. Yes, only put it once. It's only going to count it once. So only put it once. You don't have to put it more than that. And we're also going to give away a virtual ticket to Camp Listing Party. So if you don't know about that, real quick while you guys are entering this, June 27th and June 28th in Phoenix, Arizona is Camp Listing Party. Is Dagny in here? Dagny, are you in here?
She is. I saw her fly by. So's Kathy.
Dagny's my resin buddy. I got Dagny addicted to resin like I am.
You're doing awesome on that.
So now we send each other resin pictures almost every day. Look what I got. Look what I made. That's me and Dagny's conversation now. Yay, I see you. Hashtag tape, guys, to win a case of tape. I did. Dagny is confirming. I did get her addicted to resin like me. So camp listing party is not just for list perfectly. Okay, Dagny. I love sending our pictures back and forth. June 27th, 28th in Phoenix. Rod will be there. I will be there. Marsha will be there. Red Cardinal Treasures. Mark will be there. OG and Z in the chat. My daughter, Brooke, who you see in the pillow fighting video, will be there. She will be doing registration, checking everybody in. Rally Roots is going to be there. Rockstar Flipper is going to be there. Commonwealth Picker is going to be there. There are a lot of people that are going to be there. So if you could come in person, who else?
Harry Tornado.
Oh yeah, Josh and Haley, Harry Tornado. So the ticket is a virtual ticket, Sean. It is not. We did give away a hotel package. We gave away a hotel package with 2 tickets to the in-person event already. We actually gave away 2 of those, but we don't have any more of those to give away. We only have virtual tickets to give away. So if you can't come, you can buy virtual tickets for $85 for the 2 days. And that will give you access to all of the events that are going on, and you can watch them speaking. All right, 185 entries. I'm going to give you 10 more seconds. Now it's 187. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and go. Who's going to win? Dun, 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 dun. Gina got it.
Yay,
So
Congratulations.
Gina, email me and I will give you a code. Oh, thank you, Diane. Yeah, I didn't bring the resin. I have a new resin crucifix mold. I didn't bring that one out here. So let me stop sharing. We'll wait about 10 to 15 more minutes and then we'll do the camp listing party. We'll answer some more questions in the meantime. Let's see. What is something you used to sell but you don't sell anymore, and why?
Oh, well, there's a lot of things because, you follow the trends. So like something's easy off the top of my head. Starbucks mugs, now it's very picky. Now it's only certain Starbucks mugs. There was a time where pretty much boom, boom, boom. So that's one example for me that I'm kind of very slow on.
I can't really think of anything. I can only think of things that I try not to sell because I burnt myself out shipping and packing them, mostly ephemera stuff that I was just, the combined items with some fragile piece of paper, and it just, I know it sounds silly, but the box sizes were weird sometimes. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything. I know there's things I just won't ship at all, anything with liquid in it or something like that, but I don't think this applies to me.
For me, so recently I used to sell a lot of electronics. I actually took a giant step back from selling electronics now, just the fact that I've been getting so, if you guys saw my Instagram, I just posted up I think I posted up 12 VCRs and VCR DVD combos that I just went through and stuff like that. And literally 5 or 6 of them didn't work. And that you run into that, especially with tape decks and stuff like that. So I cut back. Unless I can get it really cheap and it has a higher resale value. But before I was buying them all, now I'm going to be more picky with them. But it's just they take up a lot of room. And even though you can sell them for parts, they're just slow sellers. So just taking a step back from big electronics.
Yeah, and I don't do a ton of them either. For me, I haven't really stopped anything except, and this is really generalized, breakables under $25 to $30. I don't want to pack anymore. I just don't find the time is worth the money and the supplies to pack them. So I've kind of shied away from breakables that aren't more valuable. This wasn't really a question. It was more of a comment, and I just wanted to make a comment on it. Vivi, the Vintage Vixen, said, I had 3 hits on postal scans that didn't show up, but everything was delivered with great reviews, and eBay lowered me from top seller to above average. There is actually a place that you can go and appeal those rather than just contacting eBay. I do not remember where it's at, but you can go to your defects and it says like appeal, and you can click it and ask them to review it. And the other option I would say is go on Facebook, eBay for Business, and message them if you have not done that. I just wanted to mention that to you. Rocks to Be Me says, what type of sale do you run on eBay? I did 20% off, but still got requests to send offers for an additional 5% on the markdown.
When I was doing eBay more hardcore, I had one that was a default that I could run over and over again for like a week or 5 days, whatever, and it was 20%. I feel like anything less than 20%, you're not going to get anybody's attention. And as far as the still getting offers, I don't know what to say about that. That's just the name of the game on eBay sometimes, you know. But I do have something to say. I price my stuff. I don't care about what other people are selling their items for. I'm going to stay somewhere around there, but I'm pricing it because everything I do is buy it now, best offers, unless it's something epic to run an auction. So when I'm pricing it with in mind. I'm either going to have to put it on sale eventually if it doesn't sell, or take an offer.
Yeah, and the only things I sold on eBay for a while because if anything was listed for over like 60 days on my Etsy, I would just add it to eBay in my time off. But I would, like Yvon said, I would price it higher by a few dollars than like what I really wanted, because I knew people were just going to send offers. I think, honestly, my opinion about a lot of people on eBay is they just like to feel like they're getting a deal. So I just always tack on a couple bucks.
Yeah.
So when the buyers look at your items on there, they're just seeing that price. They don't. Yes, they might be able to see the discount on there slightly, so, but what they're looking, they have blinders on. They're just looking at that bottom line. So they, like you said, they always want a deal. Doesn't matter if you already have a discount for 10% off, 20% off. A buyer always wants a deal. They want something additional off. So what I normally do in situations like that, when I run my sales, I usually run tier sales where if an item's like 60 days, 90 days, or 120 days and above, the longer on eBay, the higher the discount's going to be, the higher the sale discounts on the items. And I don't normally get a lot of sales when I run my markdowns and stuff like that, but I will get a ton of watchers. So I wait to send out any offers till after my sale ends, and then I hit all my offers at that point in time. And I actually sell more items off my offers than I actually do off the discount sale, because buyers think they're getting a deal when you send directly to them compared to just seeing a discount online. So personally, for me, I like the offers better than actually the discounts or the markdowns.
So I'm surprised Rod didn't say this. I'm going to say you make your money on the buy. So if you don't have room to give an additional 5% off of your sales price, I think you probably paid too much. I will tell you also, I run a constant sale, so that's kind of my main thing. And I am sending 15% and 25% on top of my sales price right now, because sales are slow and I want the sales, and I buy cheap enough. I buy at 10% typically of what I'm selling for. I have the room to do that and still have pretty decent profits. So yeah, I agree with everybody else. They want a deal. Everybody wants a deal everywhere. I don't get that many people on Etsy. I get only 2 a month on Etsy that'll ask me if I'll take lower, but it's not a ton. But I don't think sending 5% off of your sales price is going to get anybody's attention. I get a 5% off offer from a seller, I automatically decline. If you want me to buy it, you better send me 15% or more off. That's from a buyer standpoint. And that's why I was only doing 10% on new listed, but I bumped it to 15%. And again, though, I'm buying at 10%. So if you don't have that room to be able to, I would say even offer 10 to 15% on top of the sale, you're probably paying a little too much. And it really depends on how bad you want those sales too. I want my eBay numbers to come back up. So I'm sending the 15 and 25% off. And taking less profits, but I'm getting my original money back and space too. So my goal right now is to have less eBay listings, not more. I do not want as many listings as I have. So I'm trying to move stuff out and sending higher offers. Miss Cindy wants to know, is it possible to mark items unable to combine shipping on Poshmark? I had an order for 7 items, 2 being yours, which were not expensive, but they made it weigh 10 pounds, which if you do not know, 10 pounds on Poshmark cost you an extra $20 out of the seller's pocket for a label.
I'm letting my Poshmark dwindle down. I think I have 5 items left. I'm only saving it because I'm interested in their live sale potential that they've started. See how that works out. And I'm going to niche it down eventually to a tall girl shop. So let me pass it.
I don't do Poshmark. Sorry.
Passing you, Kat.
So there is not a way. And I have actually, you can cancel the order and say unable to ship because it goes over, the bundle goes over that 5-pound limit. And I've had people send me bundle offers and I will decline them and say, you need to make 2 separate bundles. Poshmark's limit is 5 pounds to ship, because most items on Posh that I sell are like $15-20, and there's no way I'm going to pay $20 for a label. Unless it's like a $300 item. So you cannot mark them, but you could cancel that sale and put unable to ship. And then I would put other. I actually would put other for the reason and tell the buyer, look, your items went over 5 pounds, the Poshmark limit. Please send me bundle offers on these items separated. That's what I would do. All right, Kate, here's your chance if you want to. Tammy is asking, how is sleeping in random hotels? Are you holding up good?
Sleeping in random hotels? Well, I'm not doing much sleeping. I'm not going to lie. I've been up till at least 11 at night every single day and up at 4:30 to 5 every single day since May 15th when I left. So sleeping, irrelevant. It's been fine for the most. There's been a lot of hiccups. This one has probably been the biggest hiccup. No, Palm Springs was the worst experience. Yeah. Nothing could top how bad Palm Springs was. I ran out of there screaming with a refund. Yeah, so it's been fine. It's been a lot, especially with the whatnot sales and shipping stuff, because you have to carry all this stuff from your car up to the hotel, and like sometimes you can't park near your room. Sleeping is irrelevant. Everything else has been a lot. Not holding up good though. To answer the second part, I'm not holding up good.
If you have a delicate item that needs attention to cleaning, but you're scared to do it, how do you convey that in your listing?
Well, it depends on what it is. If it's something that's going to be worth money, I'm either going to figure out how to clean it, even maybe before I buy it, to make sure that it can even be cleaned. But other than that, there are some items that, quite frankly, you can sell them as is, especially if it's, okay, say like Barbies. Let's say it's a high-end Barbie. I know nothing about really how to clean a Barbie, but collectors are very picky. And they would probably, 9 times out of 10, if you're selling a high-end Barbie, it's going to be to a collector. They're going to appreciate the fact that if you don't know what you're doing, you didn't try to do it yourself and ruin that item. So I would just be like, collector can clean or buyer can clean. I don't want to mess it up. My opinion.
Yeah, I won't buy. Honestly, I don't buy a lot of stuff if it's like super, super dirty, just because it's not worth, this is going to sound so bad, but it's not worth my manicure to make $20. You know what I mean? So I don't mess with it. But like I said, like Yvon said, I sell most of my 99% of my items I like wipe off or whatever, but I don't really clean it because I actually don't know what I'm doing. I watch like all these videos on like how to clean rubber faces and squeeze and all this stuff, and I ruined a $400 Russian teddy bear. So, and I've broken glass. I just wipe it off and let it go and let it come to your home, and you can do with it what you please. But like Pat said, I buy cheap enough where I have enough wiggle room to sell things as is.
So I think the term you're looking for, you're buying profits, not projects, pretty much.
Cool.
That's the biggest thing right there.
Awesome.
Yes.
A better.
Yes, that's pretty much. So, yeah, I'm the same way. I'll do a quick wipe down, stuff like that. And if it is something that has a stain or something like that, just point out in your listing and just disclose it and just move on. Sell it for a discount. If it needs extra cleaning and they can get it at a discounted rate, and just put in your description. People will buy things to clean up if it's a high-end collectible. But I mean, if it's unless it's going to make me an additional, $50, $100 or more than that, then I'll spend some time cleaning. But other than that, it's not worth my time for $5, $10, $20 where I could focus on other listings.
Yeah, so I'm the same way. The only thing I really do with defects is like a lot of the vintage hankies are absolutely beautiful but have stains, and I don't take time and try and get those out. I just put a note like stain noted, take a picture of it, and put stain removal not attempted. And so they know like I washed the thing, but I'm not trying to get the stain out. And I typically, like, I wouldn't buy an individual hanky with stains, but I get a lot of them in lots that I still feel are pretty enough that somebody would want them, and they do still sell. But I try and stay. Everybody used to always bug me because I don't clean anything. Like I don't want to do that. Some people enjoy it, and it's great if you like doing that, but it's not my thing. Let's go ahead before I forget. Let's go ahead and do the List Perfectly giveaway. Rod, pick a word and you tell me. You pick a word.
Camp.
Hashtag what?
Camp.
Hashtag camp, guys. Camp. You get a
listing
virtual
party.
ticket to camp listing party. And it is June 27th, 28th in Phoenix. You do not have to go. This is virtual. You can watch from your living room or from your random hotel rooms like Kate. Kate could watch us whenever she wanted. I don't know if they're going to have options because they have like a main stage and then they have breakout rooms. So I'm not sure if you're only going to be able to watch the main stage or if you'll be able to pick like a breakout room that you want. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to ask them. But if you don't win and you want to buy one, it's $85 for both days or $50 for one day if you want to watch that. But put in hashtag camp. We're giving away one every week on this show up till the event. I think we'll be there. Actually, we'll be there live. Actually, all 4 people that are live the week of camp will be at camp. Me, Rod, Sunny, and Marsha is your panel for the Tuesday while we're at camp. And we will all be in Phoenix together.
Phoenix
so
is
that will be... I've never been there.
Oh my God. I just was there and I'm actually going back and I ended up staying an extra day. You know where you have to go? Mesa.
Where?
It's Mesa.
Hold on, I'm going to write it down. MESA?
Yes. Such a sleeper. No one told me. The best places ever. Like ever. Like I turned my camera off and sat on the ground having a panic attack. Good. I didn't even get
That's
to do
awesome. Yeah, because I'll be there for 5 days. So we'll be there like extra days. They're doing a thrift bus. If you're still going to be in Phoenix or if you're in Phoenix, the Thursday after the event, they're renting a bus to go thrifting. So that should be quite interesting.
That sounds
Rod,
so
are you going on the thrift bus?
I'm flying out Thursday to head back, so I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I gotta see what time my flight is, though. You're saying till Friday.
Yeah, they told us kind of late. Yeah, I'm staying till Friday. So I'm going. I know Mark's going. Marsha is leaving early too because we didn't know before it. All right, guys, I'll give you like 1 more minute. Hashtag camp. It's a virtual ticket to camp listing party. You can watch all of the speakers and all of that fun stuff. Dun, da, da, da. The entries are slowing down. All right. I'm going to go ahead and draw it. Let's draw it. Oh, there came the last one. Maybe the last one's the winner. Who's going to win? Dun, da, da, da. I do that on every giveaway on Whatnot. And Dalton gets mad at me if I don't go, dun, da, da, da. Sarah Marquis, you're the winner. So, Sarah, email Tiffany, and I'm going to type it in the chat, Tiffany@listperfectly.com. And tell her that you are the winner of the virtual ticket from the Nurse Flippers podcast. Congratulations. We will give away another one next week. There's Sunny. Sunny in the house.
What's up, Sonny?
What's going on? All right. Retro Rose on eBay. How do I bring up all my listed items by date? You can customize the columns on your seller hub, and then you just click date, and it'll go from oldest to newest. Click it again, and the newest will pop up top. That's how I sort mine all the time.
Well,
I have a seller hub video too.
It's not actually in there. So if you go to click on it, if you go to click your active listings, is that you actually have to click on the filter and add it to your active listings. Because it's actually
so they customize the table.
Yeah, it's not one of the settings that's actually in your thing. So you actually have to click on the filter and add it, like Kat said.
Perfect. Bonnie wants to know if we give postal choices on eBay. She said she normally gives a choice of priority or select ground. And how do you handle insurance of over $100 item on priority?
Okay, on eBay, a lot of times, if I can remember, I do give an extra choice, and this is why. Sometimes I'll put in local. Now, I know that's not really addressing your question, but here's why I do it. Because just playing with eBay's rumored algorithms of because they correlate your listings. When you do a search, it gets correlated based on you as the buyer, your zip code. That's why I could look something up and Kat could look something up, and it's not going to show up in the same order because they're going to go by our zip codes because of the Amazon effect, like what Kat talked about earlier. They want things to get there as quickly as possible. So sometimes I feel like there was a rumor going around, offer different shipping choices might help that. Okay. So that's why I do that, but I don't offer other types. But I do put in my listing that I'm going to ship it USPS, UPS, or FedEx, whichever is cheaper. Because as far as I know, and someone tell me if I'm wrong, we can't do that individually, as far as I know. So, and off the top of my head, I'm only trained to kind of look at something and guess how much it's going to cost me going post office.
Yeah, I usually just use USPS because it's not worth my time to be running all around town going to 10 different shipping places. And as far as insurance, I usually only add extra insurance for packages over 200 because I just trust my packing skills and I trust the post office with as many packages as I send out. So I don't really do eBay though.
So for me, I only ever put up the United States Postal Service unless it's like a bigger item. So I will give them the option for Priority Mail or UPS because the UPS store and the post office are only minutes away from each other. So it doesn't take me out of the way. But I usually will put like UPS as, if it's a heavier item, as the primary. But I will leave the option for them to switch over to, if it's something close, because sometimes closer will be better for them depending on what it is. But most of the time, the buyers don't choose the other options on there. And for when it comes to insurance, depending on the item is, if it's something that I can afford to, if I don't have much into it, I don't really insure a lot of my items. But if it's a higher end item over a couple $100, then they will. Just depends on the item and what it is. Certain items that when you get to certain price points, you have to add signature, like I think it's $750. You have to add signature confirmation. You know, you want to add insurance, stuff like that, just to protect yourself. But
yeah, so I typically only do USPS, but I choose retail ground because that's in between select ground, and I'll tell you why. Select ground, they pay exactly the amount. You get no discount on it. However, the retail ground is actually normally enough to pay for priority, but it gives your buyer a little bit of a discount. So it gives them a little bit of my percent off, but not all of it. And I still have a little money to pay for fees and my supplies. And insurance after $100 on priority, I pay out of my pocket. So like the Hobey bracelet we just sold for what was it? Was it 11? I don't remember if it was $1,200 or $1,500. Anyways, I paid like $35 for the additional insurance out of my pocket. And that's just for peace of mind for me. So I don't require the buyer to pay it, but I do put it. And I think eBay requires signature over $700. So like on that bracelet, it had signature confirmation on it as well. Terry is asking, where in Florida do I live? I just got home from Florida and thinking of moving there, but unsure what area to consider. I want some acreage. So I live in a little town called Chiefland, and I will tell you, if you like doing anything at all social, it is probably not the place for you. I don't like to ever leave my house, so I am okay. But there, like, we have a Walmart, a Bell's Outlet, a Winn-Dixie, and that's about it. So there's a hospice thrift store that charges more than eBay. There's one decent thrift store, but like if you're a sourcing in person, where I'm at is probably not going to work. And the prices have went up here, but comparatively to most of Florida, you can still get a really, really good deal. I think I just saw one kind of similar to what I have, like a 4-bedroom on like 10 acres for around $250,000. I actually only paid $160 for mine, but mine's worth a lot. It's more than doubled in value since I bought it. But there's a lot of acres around here. You need to be ready to drive an hour to go to the doctor. Be ready to drive an hour to go to any good thrift store. Drive an hour if you want to go to the movie. That's why I'm saying, like, if you really like doing stuff, it's probably not the best option. But if you don't care about that, and like it's very rural and it's very like Rod's been here. Mark just came here too. OG and Z. It's very, very rural, and I like it. I grew up in Jacksonville in the middle of the city. So I've had both, but I prefer space. I like space. I like my chickens. I can do what I want. I can have 4 sheds, and the homeowners association isn't mad. And, so yeah, so that's where I'm at. And basically most of North Florida, close to the Georgia border, you can get a good deal on land, but most of it's going to be rural like I am.
Stay away from Tampa. It's literally one of the most expensive cities right now popping up on America. So it's the hottest. Zillow put it as the hottest real estate market for 2023. So I live in the Tampa Bay area. There's tons of sourcing, but the thrift stores are so overpriced. It's very difficult depending where you go. So you just have to. There's a lot of places to go to, but they are high prices. So.
Yeah, and like I said, mine I bought 7 years ago, and it's worth more than double what I paid for it now. Quite a bit. I wanted to put this up because I messaged Trish for the virtual listing party. Can you watch later as a recording, or is it live? It is live, but they will have the capability to watch later. She answered me and said, yes, you can definitely watch it at a later time. So if you're working or busy, you will have access to it. So Trish answered me and let me know that. So that is the answer to that. Miss Linda said, I have a lot of high-end items in my inventory, $500 to $3,000. How do you get over the fear of posting it?
Okay. And let me tell you, I still haven't gotten over it. Some items that are really, really expensive, I won't even put on eBay, quite frankly. It does help if you're more established. It seems like scammers mostly pick on new people, but that's not a hardcore rule. Something that expensive, I personally will sell it someplace else. I think the most I've ever sold on there was $500, but I'm okay with that. But a $3,000 item. So let me pass it along, then. I'm no help.
I've sold a couple things that are 4 digits, like of my own, but I usually just kind of weed out like the weird messages and stuff like that. I also I will Google you. I will get your information and Google you before I ship anything out. So if it's like something like that I'm even somewhat suspicious about. I had this coat and a laptop that I was just like, dude, I don't know about this. But I just fact check everybody because I just go, and it was on eBay. That's why I say it, because I have a hard time trusting eBay because I get so many weird messages every time I list something.
So to be honest with you, I have more problems selling $10 items than I do selling $1,000 items with buyers. I sell a lot of high-end collectibles when it comes to like graded comic books, video games, stuff like that. And I have no issues, selling items $1,500, $1,200, $1,000. I've sold dozens over the years. The biggest thing is just protect yourself. So make sure you insure your item. Make sure you put delivery confirmation on there so they have to sign, or actually signature confirmation. So the buyer has to sign for it. So that just helps you if there is an issue or anything like that. Hey, no, they signed for it. You get that proof because you get a copy of that too. It just helps out with you. But I mean, it's just go and selling $5-10 items and you move it to $1,500. You got to keep trading up. It's part of the reselling game. That's how you grow your business. You need to expand out. You need to get out of your comfort zone, because once you break out of your comfort zone, that's when your business will take off. Like doing your first big buy, and then you make all this profit. Then you reinvest it back in your business, and then you make 2-3 big buys. It's the same thing selling. You start selling $5-10 items and just trade up.
Yeah, but she's saying she already has them. She's just scared to list them.
I know that.
She has them.
You need to list them. That's part of the game.
Just do it. I agree. So I agree with Rod. Same thing. I have more problems with $10 buyers.
Yep.
I sold $2,000-$3,000 Judith Lieber purses on eBay with not a peep out of the buyer. I have not had any issues. I have sold multiple items over $3,000 on eBay with no issues. Zero. And I have less problems out of the high-end people than I do the $5 people. So I would say you got to just get over it.
Yeah.
You got to if you want to sell it, you got to list it. If you want to keep it forever, don't. It's I mean, somebody could do a credit card chargeback if they bought it from you at the antique mall. I mean, people can get around that stuff a lot of different ways and on multiple platforms. But I would say just list it.
Think what a $3,000 sale could do to your business. I mean, there's a lot of people in this chat are doing $500 a week, $1,000 a week, maybe doing not even $3,000 a month in sales. And you do that in one sale, that can change your business. That could put money in your pocket to allow you to make those bigger buys and reinvest back in the business. So you got to just do it. Just do it. Worst case scenario, it's part of the business. You may run an issue, you may not, but 9 out of 10 times you're not going to run into any issues.
Yeah, I agree. Miss Barbara, when you edit shipping costs lower on multiple purchases on Whatnot, does the customer get the refund or what? No, they do not. Whatnot keeps the money. But Whatnot also loses the money when you increase that shipping over what you thought to. But no, they do not get that money back. Whatnot keeps it.
I think they are changing that, though. I think I saw something like that on the email.
Like the buyer will get it back?
I think there's an option. Now, don't quote me, but I do, because I didn't pay much mind to it, because I usually calculate all my items packed. You know what I mean? And I sell very similar sized items. But I did read that there's going to be an option where if it was a certain amount, the seller, if they changed the shipping, would have the option to refund the buyer some amount.
If they didn't refund the buyer, does the seller keep it? I wonder.
I think I think Whatnot would keep it, because I don't think it doesn't go into the seller's pocket ever.
Well, then I'd give it to my buyer. Why would I not?
Exactly.
Now, if I had an option to keep it where it would offset some, like we put all the jewelry in jewelry boxes, which is 50 cents a piece, and the bubble mailers are 60 cents a piece. So if I had an option to keep some of it, I would probably do that to offset. We spend thousands on jewelry boxes and poly mailers every month. Colette has a question for Kate. Do you use Etsy to buy your shipping labels for your Etsy sales?
Yes, 100%. It's like the same price. It's not a penny difference. And Etsy takes care of everything. And I'm protected by Etsy if I buy labels through them. Because even if something like shows up as not scanned or something, it's on Etsy. It's Etsy's label and it's Etsy's everything. And Etsy usually jumps in if there's ever a problem, especially with international. Etsy makes international the easiest thing ever, which is another thing that's constantly changing. But yes, Etsy all the way, 100%. I use it for everything on Etsy. I never go to a thrift
Yeah.
store.
Yep, that's what I do too. I had I did on a shipment last week on Etsy because the box was oversized, and I actually went to pirate ship and shipped it UPS. It was a $50 difference between UPS and USPS, and that's the first time I've not used Etsy's label because I'm like, no. Because does Etsy, Kate, maybe you can answer this because I don't do a ton on Etsy. So like on that one where when I put in the box dimension, shipping went up $50, would Etsy take that out of my seller balance?
Yeah, for sure. And if it wasn't in your seller balance, they would take it out of your bank account that your payouts go to.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, that's another reason why, like I'm very particular about what size items I'm selling because I don't want to go too far out of my way.
Yeah, I don't even remember what it was. It wasn't something I expected to be, but it ended up being like a 14 by 14 box instead of 12 by 12, and they were far away. So it was a $50 difference, which was crazy.
Sometimes it takes like a month or something to show that up on Etsy, and they'll just take it out of your account at random, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, what's this, $40 Etsy? Like, fraud, and sure enough, it's because like it takes a long time for it to go through the system, so don't think you're getting one over on it. Usually, like, I've had international shipments that have gone wrong and I've been charged a lot, and it's taken like 3 months.
That's good to know. Miss Barbara wants to know, what's your bolo for this spring and summer? What do you think will be selling well?
Well, for me personally, with the kind of stuff that I like to sell, I'm going to stick to just this spring and summers is all we're talking about so far. I've been enjoying selling vintage glass more so than clothing the last 3 years, and I've watched swung vases, vintage swung vases, just like triple, quadruple in price, and getting a little bit harder to find at the thrift store and whatnot. So probably that is, people are starting to pick them up because they're afraid they're going to go up and up and up. And what the deal is in the vintage community, the hardcore vintage people, you not just one swung vase is good enough. It's got to be like a collection of different colors and brands. So that's probably be my big bolos, watching out for those at a good price.
So this is going to sound ridiculous, but what actually is a bolo? Because I'm just like imagining myself out with a shopping basket wearing a bolo tie. What is a bolo?
Like, be on the lookout for, what do you think is going to sell really good this spring and summer?
Oh, like Yvon said. Yeah, I mean, sure. I'm not much of a trend goer, though. I kind of just march to my own drum. For me, this summer is about cats. Cat stuff.
Oh.
Anything cat themed. The weirder cat themed, the more whimsical, weird. I just have been
did you see? I wonder if I can find it. Did you, on my teapot video, I've got to find this. I'm going to find this real quick and show you this teapot. You're going to love it. Okay, Rod, sorry.
No, it's okay. For me, springtime is really big as baseball seasons. Baseball gloves, because people are buying baseball gloves this time. Baseball gloves, baseball bats. As I sell a ton of baseball gloves, and you can pick them up at yard sales all year round, or thrift stores for super cheap, and then list them in spring. You can list them before, but make sure they're up by springtime because they will sell.
Yeah. So for me, I don't really follow the trends either. I kind of do I march to the beat of my own drummer. I'm doing a little more clothes though, because the necessities are selling more. I have to look. I got to show you this, Kate. Look at this teapot.
Oh my gosh, that thing's so cool.
And mushrooms.
I got to show you one more. So this artist sells his own work on eBay, and he is in Panama City, Florida. Here's another one.
Oh, that's so crazy. Yvon, it looks like the crazy calico cat thing.
Uh-huh.
Remember that live?
His name's Mitchell Grafton. And his work is amazing. Now, I will tell you, these two sold for $4,000 and $3,500.
Wow.
Dude,
I want to
people
see his stuff though. Mitchell Grafton on Etsy.
He is amazing. All my high dollar teapot videos, that man has been in them. And he sells them himself. He makes them, he puts them on auction for a $250 start, and they all sell for thousands. It's crazy.
Cat.
It's so crazy, but they're so cool. They're so cool. Hold on. Reverse. Rod, are Dollar Beals would like a super chat of you wrestling a dolphin. Actually, Gino's who we need to ask. Gino's our graphics man. Somebody else wanted one with Brad riding the dolphin, which we didn't get that one. So we have to ask Gino. All right. This is a good question. I think it could apply to all platforms. I have a potential buyer. She's asking me questions that are clearly in the photos and description. I'm worried she might be difficult after the sale. Would you continue the sale?
Yeah, she's not being rude yet, right? Listen, the buyers out there, like when you picture talking to a buyer, you might picture a version of yourself and how your brain works, but no, think about being in Walmart and, it's somebody, I don't know how to put this without being rude. Just be patient with people. If she's not being rude to you, just be a little more patient. I don't know. Sometimes maybe their phone has a crack. Maybe their phone glass is cracked or something. I don't know. Just be a little bit more patient. I wouldn't worry just yet.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many messages I get where I'm like, you could have saved yourself the trouble and just click next on the photo. But like Yvon said, you got to be patient with people because a lot of the times people might not see the little scroll button or not know. And most times when I think people are being difficult, they're actually not. They just are asking for help, and you run a customer service business at the end of the day, so you got to be nice to people.
So I treat all my buyers like they're 5 or 6 years old because they don't read. They see the first picture and first picture only. So if you're talking about photos with it as plural, they're not looking at other photos. So there's a book about Disney and how Disney has the best customer service because how they answer every question, but you just got to treat them like they just never saw it. So just send them, let them know. I respond to all of them, even though it's in there. So you may have missed it. It was in the description, but here it is. Here's the information. But if they get more, the only time that's just common. I get that all the time. So I won't do anything on those. But if a buyer's being really particular and they're asking me like, hey, can you send me pictures of the inside right corner, is there any damage to this? Or like you're getting real particular, like there's no possible way. Is there any type of minor scratches on there? And if something's like, 30, 40 years old, you're going to have little minor scratches on it. So if they're being really particular or when they're asking weird questions, that's when I draw a red flag. But I mean, if they're just asking this, if they just miss something, I just let it go because buyers miss stuff all the time.
Yeah. So for me, I tell them, please see the pictures. Because I do a tape measure with 95% of my item. So if they ask about height or size, I say, please see photos with tape measure included. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. And so I don't answer them because I would have to go into the photos, look at the tape measure, and I figured they can do it. And now I will tell you this past week, I've had probably 4 or 5 questions of people wanting small little details on under $10 items, and I ignore them. Not going to lie, because it's not worth it for me to go pull an item like a map that is $6, and they want the 4-digit code off the bottom corner, and they want it the exact measurements. And for $6, I'm not going to do it. So I just don't answer them. That's me. Basically, if it's under $20, you're probably not getting an answer from me. And that's just me keeping it real and being completely honest, because it's just not worth the time. Like, that's why I didn't put it in the listing, because it's a $5 item. And if I'm going to take that much time, I'm going to increase the price to pay for my time. I probably shouldn't be selling this stuff, but yeah, so I ignore them. Me and when Lynn was working for me, we were answering all of those, and she was spending let's say 15 minutes pulling the item, taking the photos, the measurements, and less than 10% of people actually bought the item. So I actually told her to stop answering those questions too, because it was a lot of work for not a lot of sale. Miss Barbara sent a $2 super sticker. I know which super chat she likes. She likes the pillow fight. So I'm going to do that one for her. And then we are going to do one more question. And then I will let the ladies tell you goodbye and what they've got coming up. And I will let Rod tell you what's coming up. And then I will tell you what I've got coming up. So Miss Barbara, here is your pillow fight. Crazy children. That was fun. We were at Tybee Island on the beach. Next, last question. Linda McKee, where is a better place to sell the high-end item other than eBay?
Well, now, if you're talking about just eyes on it and maybe a more curated clientele, I would say look at Cherish or Guilt or the Real. But you're still open to some of the same, like problems. But I just notice items tend to go for a lot more on Cherish for some reason than is on eBay. Other than that, like I said earlier, my real high-end items, like I've sold up to $500-600 on eBay. Other than that, I get a little nervous. I tend to try to run them through my booths or do local.
Well, I'm Etsy's #1 advocate over here, but there's a trick to Etsy. One, their fees are way cheaper than everybody else. Who cares about your 20-cent listing fees? The fees that they take from you is like half of what everything else takes. But the trick to listing an item like that on Etsy, especially if you don't have even if you have a following, you have to pay to run an ad on it. Otherwise, probably no one will see it. But
how much do you pay?
So I've done anything, like for all my listings, I've done anything up to $1 a day, up to $10 a day, depending on how desperate I was to gain traction. But there's like a cap. So someone has to click on it for you to get charged. So even if you do $1 a day, it boosts you in that algorithm and more people see it. And Etsy's like, oh, this person's spending extra money with us. Like, let's boost them up in the search. If you don't pay for Etsy ads, like I feel like it's pretty hard.
See, I was doing $1 a day and then I stopped because I was getting charged the $30, but I wasn't getting any sales from it.
Yeah,
and I was doing $1 a day.
I didn't get a lot of sales from it either, but if you go back into your like actual, you can see they favorited a bunch of items, and maybe 3 months later they ended up buying a bunch of stuff. Because you will see that they found you through an ad eventually. There's some graph that will show you. And
yeah, maybe I'll try it again. Try it again.
Especially because it's just like an algorithm. So the more clicks you get, the more it boosts you. So if more people are clicking, even if they don't buy it, it appears like further up in the search just because
for other people.
Yeah. So especially if it's a high-end item, like that's why a lot of the times if something doesn't sell like on a high at eBay or something, like I put it on a buy it now on Etsy because they're only going to take 6.5% or whatever. eBay, you man.
Is this the same person that asked the question earlier about the $500 to $3,000 items?
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple things you can do. I mean, if you have some really high-end items, I mean, if you're afraid to sell on eBay, eBay is going to take you're probably looking at about 15% right off the top anyway, just based on your promoting fees, stuff like that. And if you're afraid to sell those big high-end items, you may want to look and go to some different auction houses. Because, like, for example, like some auction houses are only charging 25%. It might be worth the extra 10% for you just to have them handle it, the shipping, and handle all the issues with the items. So that's the one thing that you could potentially do. Depending on what kind of high-end items you have, like I've negotiated with like Heritage Auction House, Golden Auctions, because I had a lot of high-end video games that I was going to send off to them. And, you can actually negotiate your fees depending on how high-end your items are. And because a lot of auction houses charge a buyer a 20% buyer premium. So you can actually, a lot of people don't know this, If you have a high-end item, you can actually get paid to have your item at a listing fee. So they'll waive your 20% selling fee that you have with the auction house, and then you can actually ask for 5% or 10% of the buyer premium as well. So you can actually make 110% of the item price for selling your items on auction houses. Now, granted, this has to be a high-end item. When you're talking like $10, $20, $30,000 items, the auction houses don't care because they're going to get 15% regardless. So that's free money in their pocket, and then they're shipping out a comic book or a video game or something along those lines, or baseball card. So that might be something you might want to look into as well.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, 90% of my high-end items that are $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 have all sold on eBay. The Judith Lieber purses, Kappa Di Monte Disney for $3,500. Those were all on eBay. I have had a couple of high-end sales on Etsy as well, though over $1,000. So I would say my top two would be eBay and Etsy. I know Cherish. I just haven't tried it to be able to recommend it. Martha does have a good point. If you're new, you'll be bombarded with scammers on eBay. So that's why we recommend you go buy a bunch of really cheap stuff to build your feedback up over 20, because it doesn't matter if your feedback's from buying or selling. If you get that feedback up, you'll get rid of those scammers. So, all right, Yvon, I'm going to make you big. Tell them what you've got coming up. I know you have your sale tomorrow. So tell them everything and your videos and all that and where they can find you. And yeah, here's Yvon.
Hi, you guys. Thank you so much for being here in the chat. It was fun. Kat, thanks for having me on, and Rod and Kate, thanks for coming with me. So I have now doing every Wednesday sales to try to be consistent on my YouTube channel. I have regular guests, which every first Wednesday is the Thrifting Twins, who I think you guys might have met on here last year. And then second Wednesday of the month, every second Wednesday of the month is Kate, Follow That Bug Vintage, and Kathy the Kitschy Cat, who you might see in the chat. And then the other two Wednesdays, 2 or 3 are open. I might do one by myself. I might invite somebody. I do have some special event planned, though, for July Wednesday sales. And then one more thing, this Friday, I'm going to be on sunny Las Vegas on his new Friday night show. It's of the evening. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be on that with Amy Yoso Boho.
Yay. All right. Thank you, Yvon. Kate, tell them what you've got going on and where you'll be.
I don't know where I'll be, but thank you so much for having me on, and thanks for inviting me. Sorry, it was a little chaotic at first. For anybody who doesn't know, I've been driving across the country for about 3 weeks now, and I'm as far west as I'm going to get. And then I'm going to start heading my way back. So I've been doing, I still have been maintaining my 10 a.m. Eastern daily uploads to YouTube. So you can find me on YouTube at Follow That Bug Vintage. And then I've also been conducting at least 2 on-location whatnot sales a week. And all those are already posted through the time I get back. Of course, it ends when I get back on the 30th with Follow That Cat Train. So you can bookmark all that on YouTube. Tomorrow morning, we're doing one at 9 a.m. Pacific time, so 1 p.m. Eastern. And I'm doing it at the Madonna Inn out here in San Luis Obispo. I'm kind of winging my trip at this point because nothing's gone as planned. So I don't know where else we're going to go. We did Cadillac Ranch. We did all kinds of fun places. So you can find me on Whatnot on Follow That Bug.
Perfect. Rod, what's going on?
So I just dropped a new video today, and I found a crazy old vintage item. So if you guys haven't seen the video, go to YouTube, check it out, picking and punching. Any questions we haven't answered tonight, you guys can always hit me up on Facebook or on Instagram. I answer every single question, picking and punching across all my social medias. I will be live tomorrow night on Whatnot at 7 p.m. doing a plush sale, pretty much just giving away my plush. I need to get rid of all this plush, so guys, go on there. Everything starts at $2, and most of the stuff sells for $2, $3. So tons of plush, great deals. If you're looking to resell items, come follow me.
All right, guys, go ahead. Kate, they want to know about the train.
Oh, well, on Friday, June 30th, Yvon, I'm finally getting all my time zones down. I'm so excited. It starts at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is 1 p.m. Pacific time, and you can fill in the blanks. We're doing Follow That Cat. It starts with me, and then it's the Thrifting Twins, Yvon, Kathy, Jocelyn, the Crazy Lamp Lady, and Dagny, Flying Pig Thrifts. And we are selling only cat-themed items. So that's Friday. Hi, Dagny. Friday, June 30th. Oh my God, don't ask me for any more dates. I'm so fried. I don't know what month it is right now, to be honest. So Friday, June 30th, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to go, each seller has a 30-minute time slot, and we're just going to raid each other in.
All right, guys, next week is the week you have all been waiting for. Julian, Bearded Thrift, is coming on as a guest for the first time ever, not co-host, and his wife Kayla will be our second guest. So next week we'll have Julian back on the show since he stopped co-hosting, first time back. So super excited to have Julian back. I tomorrow am doing a sterling silver vintage jewelry show with some amazing, there are a few antique sterling pieces as well. Really, really nice stuff. I can't show you any of it because Aunt Roberta has it. I know it was all half cataloged. And then Thursday, I brought examples. I'm doing silver plated gemstone jewelry, and these are $5 starts. I've got a lot of them. I brought a lot. So I'm going to have these on Thursday. My hair gets everywhere. Anybody with long hair knows about that. And then Friday is my husband's birthday, and Saturday is my resin. I got to turn the light off. You don't get the fairy lamp effect unless you turn the light off. So this mushroom will be available along with probably 9 others. And then my new rabbit ears, I put forget-me-not flowers in them. They're super cute little ring. Look at the hair. Free hair. Anybody that watches my jewelry shows knows about free hair on jewelry. Little rabbit ring holders will be available. I've got a lot of new molds. I'm excited. So there's going to be a lot of new resin stuff on Saturday, not Friday like it normally is. Saturday, because Brad's birthday is Friday. So yeah, so come see us next week. We're excited to have Julian back on. And thank you so much, Yvon and Kate. I appreciate you coming on very, very much. We will see you guys next Tuesday. Give these guys a follow. Everybody's link is down in the description if you're watching it after. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Did you guys leave? Are you guys still here? Should I leave?